Oh, okay, so this is a tutorial for the Warsim staff and champions. This is in the latest version, which is 0695. Although that may change, and if anything does drastically change to this sort of game system that we're doing a tutorial on right now, I will update the video. So we're going to load my autosave, and let's pop straight into the game. So bear with me while I figure my world out. Here we go. So, right, let's have a look. So we've got the way you hire staff, we've got the staff and champions screen. By default, you usually have two staff, Old Kroll and Gorin Pikener. Old Kroll is your diplomat. You'll always have a random face, bear in mind. Same with Gorin Pikener, who is your general. So they can do different things. Old Kroll can help show you the relations you have with different factions. So, for example, I can see the bandits don't like us. But they hate the rebels, they hate the Krut, they hate the Iraq, they absolutely despise the Golden Lost Chiefdom, and they hate even worse the triumphant day city-state of Elkrak. It's very unlikely we'll be attacked until the top, well, all of those I just listed are defeated. I mean, if it's the rebels, Krut, and Iraq, we may have a chance to be attacked by them, but they're definitely not going to do anything until the chiefdom and the city-state are done. We can look at the Pink Guardians. You can look at anything, and you can see what your effect is on the world. We can also fire him or train him. If we train him, his skill gets better, which I believe has various effects. It's actually ridiculous that I don't know what he does. I can't remember. There's a lot going on in this game, guys. But yeah, so we can train him. Diplomat is going to go in training, and if I end the turn and start again, it will show us something else. And we've got Spy Master. So what happens is when you hire staff, it generates 3 random potential staff for each role. So it'll do the same for court jesters. So 3 potential spy masters are sent to your court. You may speak to each of them to learn their skills. The same will happen if we fired our diplomat and our general. Would get a choice of 3 to hire. So they're randomly generated, and they all have randomly generated traits and tricks and what have you, and they will all randomly generate a speech to convince you to hire them. So we've got Hadvar, the hero of fire, Sir Hafnar the loot, and Bedwin Yixon. So, okay. So this Bart Simpson looking guy. Hi, I'm Hadvar, the hero of fire. I'm a sought-after spy by many rulers. I will serve you honourably. I request a payment of 126 gold per season. So the money they ask for is not preset. It's random plus some sort of logic behind it usually. So they may be more expensive because of their skill, but they may be more expensive because they're just charging more for themselves. There might be some that are really good and also really expensive. You might have some that are terrible but still charge loads. So don't just hire based on the cost. Higher on the skill level, which is the only thing you can really go for here. So, I mean, generally speaking, you want to go for the higher skill level. You might want to go for the face you prefer. So, for example, this one is pretty funny. Greetings. I've assisted those I serve in every realm and aspect of spying. There is no doubt I should work for you. So he's actually the most skilled. Then Bedwin Yixon. I've read almost every famous paper on spying and even written some. Please hire me. It was prophesized by Asian texts. So they'll have different speeches. We're going to go for the one with the most skill. Now, if we speak to our spy master, there's various things he can do. So we can train him, we can fire him, we can say that we don't want spy reports at all at the end of every year, but we do. We can also ask for more detailed spy reports, and he will. We can also ask what else can he do, and this guy will tell us what he can do at certain skill levels. So he's at skill level 185. If he reaches 200, he'll be able to show you all the recruiting patterns of every faction, including independent factions and minor gangs. We've got court jesters. Now, these differ quite a lot, and the reason is that while they have different skill levels, which allow them access to different tiers of jokes, they all have different sort of access, if you will, to those jokes. So some of them can only tell riddles, some of them can only tell orc jokes, some of them can tell everything but orc jokes, some of them can tell everything. So for example, this guy specialises in non-orc jokes. As a boy, I wish to be a court jest, and I specialise in non-orc jokes. I would like to fart for money. Please hire me. I beg for pay 26 gold. So they don't cost so much. But the skill level doesn't necessarily mean anything. So these are both non-orc jokes, and we've got a guy who specialises in orc jokes, who's a goblin, ironically. Oh my god, what is he? He's a monstrous-looking face. What is he? I don't even know what that is. I can't remember what race that is, but it's a hideous. That's bad. I mean, I made this game. I mean, I didn't draw that face. Obviously, everything's randomly generated, but that was actually a suggestion by a player who drew an original face, and I just mutated it. But yeah, I suppose that's the extent of this game. There's so much going on, even the developer doesn't know what's going on. So I'm going to go with the guy who tells orc jokes, because orc jokes are funny. Now if we have a look, so we can train him, ask him to tell us a joke, I wouldn't bother telling an orc joke. They're too dumb to know that you're joking. If ugly were a crime, the entire orcish race would have rotted in dungeons long ago. So, ha, you get it. And we can fire him. And if we hire, we've only got 2 others we can hire at the moment. Because we've already hired this turn. It will refresh every single turn with completely new ones. So yeah, we've got all that. We've got all this. And if we wait till the end of a turn, we'll see the advanced spy master, and it tells us all of this detail on recruitment that we didn't see before. We can also see that trainees increased his skill slightly, and we can see the wages that are being paid here. These wages will be paid every turn. Now, if we don't have the money to pay the wages of the staff, which we'll do now by stuffing all our money in a bank, let's just deposit all. We might have issues. So we're being attacked, and in theory, actually, our spy master should tell us the. Okay, maybe not. But here we go. So let's see what happens. Crap, we're gaining more gold than we can spend. Let's remedy this. What is gaining us the gold? Our laws. So this is. I don't know. Well, basically, they'll quit if they're not sort of paid properly. And that leaves us with one last thing to dive into, and that is champions. Champions are actually quite an old feature in the game that came well before all the other staff and anything else that the game had. So the system isn't very updated. We don't have faces for them and lots of other features. That being said, they are pretty interesting. So it'll generate one of 16 different generals you can hire, or champions, or whatever they are. And you can see their price. Now, the price is directly linked to their battle score. So take the 2 zeros off the end, and that's the battle score. Top guy has a battle score of 163, so he's 16,300. They're very expensive for what they are, but they can and they will in the future also be able to do a lot more than they appear to at the moment. So, for example, well, actually, I don't think I've got enough gold to hire anyone, so I'm going to go to the bank and withdraw my money. Let's withdraw all, and then if we go, we're going to hire Handir Wolf Hater. So I can't do anything if I go in. We can just fire him, and that's it. But they have different effects. So aside from the fact they can be brought in to battle, one of the biggest things you can do with them is put them in charge of fortresses. So, for example, where's my favourite Fort Gorthmek? Can't remember where I put it. It's the weirdest thing to lose, really, a giant fort. Here we go. Fort Gorthmek. So it's currently owned by orcs. We're going to attack it. I'm going to send everyone. Man, it's pretty long for a tutorial. And here we get the option to send Sir Handir Wolfhater on the quest. So we'll send him. And here we go. This is a spy master telling us what the effects of our battle will be. So we've got the Gorthmek orcs have a battle score of 748. They have less troops than us, and their army is overall weaker than us. We are going to slaughter them. So orc warriors slain. Done. Fort is ours. Instate a hero, Handir Wolfhater. So, Fort Gorthmek is a strange orcish fort that once belonged to Uric the Oppressor. It now belongs to you and your men and is ruled by your unstated general, Sir Handir the Wolfhater, is bound to you. The fort currently holds 0 soldiers. So I can demolish the fort, I can ask about it, I can upgrade it to a better fort. What will happen is every single turn, depending on the fort rules, so at this point in time, they don't do anything. They're not going to provide, they're just going to stock up on troops until they hit their cap. Now, the cap is based on the skill level of the general, so he's a really weak one. He's only got a skill level of 45, which means he probably won't do very well. However, we can update that. We can hire we can sort of replace him with someone better, and they will be able to hire or hold a greater army of troops. We can ask them to assist with assaults and defense, but only one. So if I ask them to assist with defense, they will come to our aid when we get attacked. With assaults, they'll come to our aid when we attack. And if we ask them to provide us with troops, you can do both at the same time. They can provide troops and be on attack, and that will mean they'll send us some soldiers every turn as well. But we're not going to do that. We're going to let them build up. So for the time being, they're going to do nothing, and we'll wait. And we'll see if it shows. Okay. No, so nothing's shown up. So let's go into... let's have a look at Fort Gorthmek. So he's now got 4 soldiers. So we can set the fort rules, provide us with troops, and you should notice now in the screen, so Handir the Wolfhater sends 1 soldier from Fort Gorthmek. Obviously, I haven't got many to send, and his recruit, or his limit of how many you can recruit each turn, is quite low as well. So he sent us 2 this turn, and so on. And if we go and have a look now, they've probably got a few more, so he's got 13 now, so it's growing a little bit. Now we'll ask him to assist in defense and see if we get attacked by anyone. We'll skip a few turns. I'm also going to ask them to stop assisting us. in sending troops for the time being. Where are we? There we go. Just because I want them to build up a strong enough army. I mean, what's he on at the moment? 18 now. So, here we go. So the militia have sent 151 troops, and Sir Hound of the Wolf Hater has sent 1 troop. So thanks, mate. Cheers. But this is the... I mean, there's at the moment there are 3 that can stack on assisting you in defense. Those are the militia, Fort Gorthmek, and the slums. I mean, all in all, if you've got all these factions coming to your aid every other time you get attacked, or all at once, as the case may be sometimes, it's actually really huge and has a big effect and can really change the tide of battle. So that is Staff and Champions. There is a lot they can do. Actually, come to think of it, there is one more thing. You can also, if you have a champion, you can have them challenge the Grand Champion in the arena to become the champion of your arena. I don't know. It wasn't the best feature, but yeah. So essentially, there are lots of things you can do. This is Staff and Champions. This has been a Warsim tutorial. Any other questions, guys? Let me know in the description or on Reddit or in the Steam community discussions. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out the game, and I'm happy to take suggestions for any other tutorials we need to do. So, take it easy, guys.